Damon, how about a little drum roll for everybody? You got it. You got the drum. Oh, there it is. Damon, happy Monday, my brother. How are you, dude?
I'm doing great, Curt. Doing great.
Man, what? I'm already speechless, and we're just getting the party started.
Just getting
We're
started.
just starting right now. Man, look at who's here. We've got Angela already. Angela,
Yep.
happy Monday to you. We've got my dear beloved
Man.
Diane Byer. She's in Pennsylvania. We've got
Dan.
our brother from another mother. We've got Trish. Trish, thank
All
you
right.
for all of your wonderful, amazing support. We've got Ingor here today. So, all right, guys, happy Monday, Manufacturing Monday Motivation on, Damon, what month is this?
Manufacturing month.
It's Manufacturing Month, this whole month. And so what we're going to do is we've been practicing our German. And so we've got Ingor, we've got Missy. Thank you for joining us here today. So, all right. We're going to do a little song. We're going to kick things off in German. Whitney, are you ready to kick things off in German? So
I will do my best.
Okay, I'm just teasing about the song. So, guys, we have Whitney Koch in the house today from Welker. She's coming to us live from Houston. Whitney, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. I'm excellent. So nice to be here with you both.
Oh, man, we are super excited. You have to forgive me. I think so speaking of German, my Rottweiler is going a little crazy right now. So, all right. Whitney, first, we want to kick things off. My first question for you today, and what a great way for us to celebrate Manufacturing Month by bringing you on live. First day of the month. Great way to kick off this exciting, wonderful month. Angela says right here, Guten Tag.
Yay, Angela breaking out the German. Oh, there's my husband. My husband came. Yay.
David Christ. Nice. Hey, we've got Joel. Joel, how are you, dude? We're going to talk about Joel today. So, all right, let's get this thing rolling here. So, all right. Whitney, my first question for you today. Yes. You just shared some you've lived in Wyoming, you've lived in Texas, you've lived kind of all over the place, went to school in Pennsylvania. We're going to dig into that today. As a little girl growing up, who was your hero? Who was your hero growing up?
When I lived in Wyoming, I definitely looked up to Annie Oakley. I was really into that, living in Cody, Wyoming, home of Buffalo Bill Cody, learning about the Wild West show. Annie Oakley was just such a strong, tough woman. Also originally from Ohio, which is where my parents are originally from. Yeah, she was pretty cool. And I also really admired Teddy Roosevelt, one of my favorite presidents, and just, what he did for preserving nature. Living out in Wyoming, those were two big influences on me for sure.
Well, I can honestly say, Damon, we have not had those two folks on our as an answer on our show that question. No. So drop the mic on that one right out. John Baglino, that was our first mic drop right there. So Annie Oakley and Teddy Roosevelt. As a matter of fact, my Roddy that was just going crazy, he is named Theodore, named after Theodore Roosevelt. So how's that?
No way.
Yep, we call him Theo. So how about that one, Whitney? So all right, Whitney, I want to let's give a shout out to the husband right now. So we got Joel, and as I understand, as an Army veteran, Joel, God bless you, brother. Thank you for serving our country. Hey, how about a shout out to Joel, Whitney? What's going on with you and the husband? Let's go there for a second.
We recently celebrated our 7th wedding anniversary just a week ago, last Monday. We have our 4-year-old son, just working, staying busy, trying to be best parents we can be, best people we can be. Getting ready for Halloween. That was our big thing this weekend, buying all the Halloween decorations, all the pumpkins.
Yeah.
Hey, Mitzi says, hey, awesome that the hubby showed up. We've got Russ here. Man, Russ Patchen's here. Russ, happy Monday to you, my friend.
How's it
and
going,
he
man?
loves manufacturing.
I know.
We got our first mic drop right here. And, of course, Katie is in the house today.
Yay.
She's back up here. Annie Oakley. Okay, so let's dig in. Whitney, grew up. What do you got, Damon?
Well, Angela's comment about Annie Oakley. I ain't afraid to love a man, but I ain't afraid to shoot. I didn't realize that was a quote.
I ain't afraid to love a man. I afraid to shoot him either. And, John Baglino, that's mic drop number 2 right there.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, how do you top that?
Another shout out to Joel. Joel, again, thank you for your service. So, Whitney, all right. So lived all over, and so you had a great time. And growing up in Houston, you shared a little bit about Wyoming, and Dad was an
Hmm.
engineer, as I understand. He
Yes.
kind of brought you all over. And
Hmm.
what's fascinating is you went to college in Pennsylvania. Went to We
Yeah.
Are. What does We Are stand for, by any chance?
Well, that's what you call out. So when you're out on campus, someone will yell, "We are," and then you yell back, "Penn State." So whenever you're out and about, if you see someone wearing Penn State gear, you can yell out, "We are," and they shout
That's right.
Penn State
Okay,
back
so
at you.
you're a Nittany Lion, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Where like you live nowhere near Pennsylvania, you end up at Penn State as
Hmm.
a Penn State grad, one of the top universities in our wonderful country. What brought you to Penn State?
It's kind of funny. When I was in high school, I was very into learning the German language, and I also was part of our school newspaper, was very interested in journalism and then the graphic design side of it. So when I was looking at colleges, those were the two things that I was really looking for. I wanted to find a school where I could continue learning about both. And that was actually hard to find at the time. I don't know if that's still the case or not, but Penn State had a German program, a solid German program, also the ability to do a Bachelor of Science instead of a Bachelor of Arts. So I was able to take business courses as well, and still get my German major. And they had graphic design. And my dad and I did a college tour, spring break my junior year, and we stepped out of the rental car in State College, and something just felt right. I knew it was the right place.
And you just fell right at home. And so
Hmm.
you're in, and very, very impressive, unique major. You are a German grad. You did your master's degree. You have a German studies master's degree. You
Yeah.
also did a year abroad. Where were you? Frankfurt, or where were you on your?
Well, I studied abroad in Freiburg, which is
Okay.
southwest Germany, and then I had a Fulbright, and I did that in Frankfurt. I was there for about a year. That was a really cool experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, all right. So, it begs the question. We're going to slide into your superpowers in manufacturing. But as you were driving your education and kind of going that route of German, what was the path that you were looking to take going that route?
Education. That's what I ended up doing. I was a German teacher at a local school district for 4 years, and just realized that it wasn't my lifelong career. And I wasn't interested in getting a PhD. I didn't have a topic that I felt so strongly about that I wanted to research and teach on forever. And so when you're in education, there aren't as many paths, right? If you just really enjoy teaching. I didn't want to be a principal, so I started looking outside of education for some opportunities, and that's how I ended up at Welker. I started as our technical writer, and it was just kind of a good transition for me. Lots of transferable skills going from teaching to technical writing.
Awesome. We've got some great conversation going here still. So Angela, who's back on Annie Oakley. She loved
Aw.
Annie as a kid. Of course, John Baglino. He's like, hey, man, you're speaking to a Buckeye fan. We've got Russ Hedge coming back. Russ, again, happy Monday to you. And then Dan Bigger. Now, Dan, you're from Pennsylvania, man. You should be a Penn State fan, but he's giving a shout out
Right?
to little Go Blue there. So
My husband's from Michigan, so
okay, so we've got a little
yeah.
Michigan in the
Okay.
house. We've got Ohio State. We've got Penn State. So, all right, let's come back here, Whitney. So, again, you were
Yeah.
pursuing a career in education. You speak fluent German, which is what a great talent and skill to have. Talk to us about like what inspired you. I know you talked about 2014, I believe. You end up bringing your superpowers to Welker.
Mhm.
What was that, a big leap of faith? Like why, women
Yeah.
in manufacturing, right? Damon, we love
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah.
women in manufacturing.
Yeah.
Why did you bring your skills, your talents, your superpowers to manufacturing? What really appealed to you about Welker?
Yeah. Well, we at Welker are really emphasizing the manufacturing side of our company more recently, but we are really known in the oil and gas industry, right? And being in Texas, Texas is just known for oil and gas. That's how I ended up here. My dad is a retired petroleum engineer. My sister works in the regulatory side of it, dealing with platforms in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's just kind of a family affair. So being in the oil and gas industry just sort of made sense a little bit. Just being in the Houston area and given my family history, and that really helped me understand our products and what they are used for in the industry. And then moving over into the marketing department, and then connecting with the USA Manufacturing Hour group on Twitter has really just, I think, helped us really position ourselves better as a manufacturing company, which is really what we are. We can manufacture anything.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go deep there. So let's talk about when you made that transition. Where what made you think about like marketing? You go from like before you mentioned like, hey, I might do my PhD, passionate about teaching and being an educator. How did those skills transition into marketing?
Yeah. Well, I just really love writing, reading, writing, technical writing. Not the most creative of writing ever, right? Because you're giving instructions, so that got a little dry for me. I did work with our marketing department while I was in that role, helping figure out company style and standardizing some things. And so after about 5 years of doing technical writing and just feeling ready for a change, it just sort of made sense to move over to marketing and help flesh out our website content. And then it just sort of evolved from there.
Okay, now we got to. Diane is a trifecta mom here.
Oh,
look at that!
Yay.
Wow,
Diane, how cool!
And we
is
have
that?
the same anniversary too. We have the
So
same
proud,
anniversary.
and they have
That's
great
awesome.
company. Yeah, so you need to connect. If you're not friends with Diane, boy, you need to connect with Diane Byer. She is absolutely amazing. And of course, Angela says, "Wow, what an amazing story!" We've got Val's here today. Val, how are you,
Yay.
my friend?
Hi,
We're going to take
Val.
a deep dive into our Twitter chat group.
Yes.
So, Whitney, let's talk about. Okay, so you slide into, you bring all this wealth of, you've studied global. You have a wealth of information, passion. You bring to Welker. Marketing. Let's go there. Like when your first day on the job, or when you first start, say there's somebody out there like, man, Whitney, you've really caught my attention. I'd like to take a similar type path. I'd like to get deeper into marketing. Any words of advice, or like what was that transition like for you when you first started into marketing?
Yeah, when I first started, I think the most important thing that I did that really helped me was to dive deeper into our industry, dive deeper into oil and gas, so I could better understand who is buying our products, why are they buying our products, what purpose do the products serve. Also, really relying on our internal subject matter experts. We're a smaller family owned company. We have so many employees who have been here 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and longer. And they just have such a wealth of knowledge. And, it's really important to take advantage of that. If, you work with people who have a longer tenure, make sure that you are listening, right? And asking and listening,
Right.
Learning from them, from their experiences. And when you have that perspective, it just makes a really big difference.
Perfect. How have you? So again, let's go back 2014 compared to today. I know you do an amazing job. And again, guys, if you're out there, drop us a note. If you're not connected with Whitney, boy, you absolutely want to connect with Whitney here on LinkedIn. And she's doing an amazing job. Connect with her on Twitter, of course. And we're going to talk about community building. But when in 2014, when you first started, what were some of the things what were some of the strategies, tactics that you were implementing then, in whether versus or compared to how you've evolved as a marketer today?
Okay. So I moved over into the marketing department in 2019, actually.
19,
so I've been,
okay.
So I've been with Welker since 2014, did the technical writing for about 5.5 years, moved over to marketing. So when I first started, we were really focusing on building out our web content, writing more details about our products. Having been around for a long time, we have kind of a steady customer base, right? Some people always come to us for our constant pressure cylinders or a certain sampler, like that's what they know us for. And so just making sure that we have enough information about those products for people who don't know us yet, right? And then also the people who do know us, making sure that they know us for the other things that we do, the other services that we offer as well. Just making sure that we have that information out there. That was kind of the start. And then, 2020 kind of threw a wrench and stuff for everybody.
Something happened in 2020.
Yeah.
What happened there? Damon, did your life
Yeah.
change in 2020 by any chance?
A
Slightly.
little bit.
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So we typically attend a fair number of trade shows and industry schools. And so, of course, none of those happened, right, in 2020. I think maybe we made it to one before everything shut down. And that summer, I just thought, okay, well, we've still got to get ourselves out there. And we had our Facebook account, we had our Twitter, but nobody was really owning those channels. And that's when I said, okay, like I'd really like to do this. And, it's 2020, global pandemic, we really need to be doing this, right?
Yeah.
If we're not able to go out to shows and schools and meet people in person. And it's grown a whole lot since then.
Well, you've done an amazing job, and we've got to hit some of the comments here. So again, hey, hats off to Katie. Katie, I still need to see some ID from you because I don't believe you have sons that are old enough to be in the Marines. Man, she looks young, but she's got. Hey, God bless your sons, Katie. Thank you for their service. We appreciate you. We've got Diane giving a shout out to Katie here, and of course, like I love this one from Trisha. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, how neat.
My great-grandfather saw Annie Oakley at the St. Louis World's Fair.
So
John
cool.
Baglino, another drop the mic moment right there. And hey, Nicole is like, she's been like on vacation with her husband. I thought she was she's supposed to be on a flight today, and she's even checking in on you, Whitney.
Yeah.
So how cool is that, man? So,
awesome.
Okay. And hey, we've got
Julie.
We've got Julie here today.
Oh, yay,
Julie's in the house.
Nice.
Hey, Julie.
And man, they're just coming fast and furious. So if I miss anybody, I apologize. So, hey, guys, happy Monday. Again, we're here with Whitney Koch. And we're super excited to talk about Welker. I have a bunch of questions for you, Whitney. But first off, what on earth is a natural gas sampler, for goodness gracious? Those that are not in the oil industry.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, I went to school for engineering. I don't understand what this stuff is.
Okay,
it's
so
cool.
that's pretty neat. So in the oil and gas industry, you've got natural gas, you've got crude oil, and when you're talking about crude oil, that gets refined into different products like the gasoline that we put in our cars, diesel. And natural gas is used for generating electricity, heating homes. And so when it gets produced, it needs to be sampled because you need to make sure that the quality is where it needs to be, right? And so, especially in the US, we have such a big network of pipelines, but they're not all owned and operated by the same company. So whenever you are transferring custody, for example, like that is often a sample point for crude oil and natural gas, so they can collect the sample. Depending on the product, it might need to be mixed, and then you're analyzing it to make sure that it's on spec, and then that also can determine the price that you're paying.
Right. Now, Whitney, 8 years ago, could you have said that?
No.
Yeah, I was like,
no,
there's
but seriously,
a lot
no, I never could have.
Right.
No.
So, well, and you're talking about gas and liquids too, so it's a completely different kind of animal to try to take a sample and then does the equipment actually then analyze it too? Or
no, we don't have analyzers yet. You're just collecting
Okay.
the sample from the pipeline, and then there's a couple of different ways to sample. So you can sample directly to an analyzer. So we have samplers that do that, and then you can also sample into a container and then take that container to a laboratory to test it. And then when it comes to natural gas, it also needs to be odorized. So we make odorization equipment to inject that the liquid odorant, or also vaporize the natural gas with the odorant, so it gets that rotten egg smell, and it lets you know if there's a natural gas leak. We do that too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that smell is added. It does. It's pretty wild.
And I'm wondering, back to my dog, that odorizer. I wonder if you could help me out with my. We'll talk about that offline, Whitney. I'm just kidding. So, hey, we've got Leslie here from the New Jersey MEP. Big shout out to our buddy Mike Womack. He's been a frequent guest here, and man, we just got all sorts of comments. We've got Matt Goosey here today. Matt, welcome. Happy Monday. Go Packers. So, guys, again, drop a note. Let us know that you're here. Give a big shout out. Hello to our dear friend Whitney. What an amazing guest. Now, Whitney, what I'd love to talk about is manufacturer. I heard small family business. A lot of manufacturers, this whole marketing thing, online marketing thing, maybe hasn't been a top priority. Can you talk about the culture and how Welker just really collectively decided? It seems like you guys are all in. Can you talk about like the management, ownership, culture, like what had them buy in? And was it pre-COVID? Was it COVID? What did that look like?
I definitely think COVID played a big part in that. And we haven't historically done a lot of print advertising or anything like that. And so, with the pandemic, it was like, okay, well, we've already got accounts set up. We've posted on them before, but we just have not done it consistently. We've never thought about a strategy or really what to do with that. We are also in the process of really trying to launch ourselves as as being known more of as a manufacturing company and not an oil and gas company, and also offering some contract manufacturing services. And so being able to do that through our social media channels really just made a lot of sense. And then especially as those different channels have evolved, like Instagram, Reels have become so much more popular. Being able to do video, things like that, it has been great. And I think especially for so many manufacturing companies that are smaller, right, and maybe don't have the money for fancy equipment or a lot of manpower, you really don't even need it, with a lot of the tools that are out there. And not everybody even really wants to see a really highly produced video either. Right. It's, the day in the life, behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Right.
Pretty much always does well. That's what people want to see.
Yeah, and you've been doing a great job. Like you have, and you've been posting frequently. I'm going to talk about kind of like the rhythm and pattern that you've kind of created for yourself. I know you're doing like the 10 days, the 10 gratitude days. Is that what it is right now?
Oh yeah, for me personally,
right?
yeah.
Right? So you're doing the 10 gratitude days. I know, like if you go on Whitney's profile, there's a nice video of you kind of explaining your role with Welker. You're like, dude, you're all over the place. You do like a Wednesday book review, I believe.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about, and just look at this chat box. Like, guys, I can't.
I know it's going crazy today.
Keep it on fire, man. And so I apologize if I'm missing any comments and anybody out there. Polly Rose is here.
Yeah, we got Polly today.
Julie, Nicole again. So guys, thank you.
Yeah.
And you're like breaking the internet, Whitney. This is
I'm sitting here going through your company page. I mean, you guys do a really good job on your company page of mixing in product information and people information and just good solid posts. It's really cool.
Much.
It's really
Thank
cool.
You.
Yeah, and I think a big thing that I take away with your posts is just how authentic you are, how genuine you are, and how like caring, and like Damon's describing, like I view you guys like you're out there as a manufacturer, but you're an educator. So I feel like you're, and I wanted to kind of tee that up of like, Penn State, your master's degree, going abroad, and how you've brought as an educator becoming a marketer and how you've really married the two. And you are just doing such an amazing job with that. Talk a little bit about like, again, so any new marketers out there or somebody that's kind of struggling, can you talk like as an educator, how has that skill set really transitioned so well for you as a marketer?
That's a great question. I think just keeping it simple is huge, right? Especially I was teaching high school, teaching a kind of complicated subject, right? You don't want something to be so over their heads that you're just getting a bunch of blank stares or that they kind of check out, move on, right? You want to simplify, make things engaging. Visuals are always good. Who doesn't love to like watch a video in school and do some more fun hands-on kind of things? That's what I really like doing. Kind of behind the scenes videos, behind the scenes pictures. It's just really neat to see that other side, right? And when teaching a foreign language, that's kind of what I always really loved as a student, and what my students loved is like learning about the culture, right? So it's not just a foreign culture, but the culture of your business, and just getting to know the people who are there, so you have that more personal connection to that company, to the brand, to the products.
Keeping it super simple. I absolutely love that. Damon, like when we do our training, like, so Whitney, our benchmark is like, we set the bar at Curt. So like if Curt can understand it, anybody can understand it, right? So like, the way you explained your natural gas sampler, man, I totally got it, understood it. So I love how you explain that. I got to hit a couple more comments here. Polly Rose, our dear friend Whitney, is killing it. And John Maglino says Welker social media is incredible. Julie, our dear friend, says great job, Whitney. So my God, Whitney, you're just getting so much love and attention. Let's talk about, since we're here, let's go there personally. Okay. What did you have any idea like 2 years ago, like this raving community that's just showering you with so much love and attention right now? What has it done for you personally? You're just crushing it on LinkedIn, the community that you've built. We're going to talk about the Twitter group. Let's go there right now. Talk about how you've built just this wonderful community online, what it's meant to you.
Well, I posted about it the other day, but it really all kind of started with Julie Basello.
Julie.
And I mean that, Julie is amazing. Instagram is kind of my preferred platform. Personally, it's just, I don't know, I like the way that it's set up. So I like to spend a lot of time on Instagram, engaging with the companies that we follow, and also just seeing what other people are doing, what other companies are doing, and kind of snagging ideas, using it for inspiration. And I don't even know how I got started following Redwell International, but I started following them pretty early on after taking over our social media. And I don't know how many posts I bookmarked for inspiration and, interacting in stories and things like that. And finally, I just DM'd her and was like, I'm Whitney. And we kind of got to know who was actually there behind the account. And not long after that, we connected here on LinkedIn, and then she hooked me up with Dan Bigger. Dan knows everyone.
Yeah. Then you're like, as soon as you connect with Dan Bigger, your entire life
just like choof after that. I met Dan, and this is the way it went.
Yeah. And he explained the USA Manufacturing, our Twitter chat to me. Twitter was not a channel I spent a whole lot of time on. I did not understand at all how a Twitter chat would work and really what the point was. But I lurked for a week or two and then started participating, and it's just been so much fun. It's like the highlight of my week, getting to learn from this amazing community, learn about so many different things, really any area of manufacturing, so many things, I never knew before. I learned so much about manufacturing this year. Just meeting amazing people through that, getting connected with John Bruglino. I've got my whole list here. My friend Katie McDermott, the manufacturing hype girl, and she and I kind of teamed up and did some things on Instagram together. Through them, getting connected with Inger and Sri Mahabir and doing their video challenges and just getting more comfortable even being on camera myself. That was something this year I really wanted us to do more short form video, but couldn't really get anyone interested in being on camera. I was like, well, I guess I need to be the one.
you drew the short straw, right?
Yeah. You just I guess so.
Yeah. And so they've all just been really pivotal in making that happen.
Well, hey, and I got to come back to a few of the comments here. And man, we love Katie. Can I just mention how amazing of a connection Whitney is? We became fast friends really because she is so supportive. She and I love reading, planning, and gosh, I love you. Thanks for her honesty. And she's asking here, is this your first live by any chance?
My first is the one and only guest. I got to jump on to one of Inger's lives with some other people. Nice. I don't know, a couple months ago.
Oh, now you're a season.
We have to step it up a bit here, don't we?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of love here for Julie and a lot of love here for Dan. Julie is a force.
They're
of
awesome.
course she is.
Yes.
So, all right, Whitney. All right, so let's dig into some Welker. And let's talk about you're talking about your posts, this community, content, educating. Any stats, from if we were interviewing maybe the owner of Welker, what are some of the positive things that you're seeing on the business side of building this community?
Yeah, that's really great. We've definitely gotten some feedback from people about emails that we send out. Also do our email marketing, posts that we've gotten. We've really kind of just been tracking our followers, and I was actually looking this morning, and we started our YouTube channel. When was that? Maybe like a year and a half ago. And we just had 50 new subscribers today, which is really exciting. Just in the last, I don't know, year or so, we've grown. Twitter has been insane. We started with just 42 followers, and now we're like over 1,000.
Wow.
And most of that growth has been this year after joining the USA Manufacturing Hour Twitter chat.
Yeah.
And then I want to give a shout out to Deb Coman too. I started joining her Social Trust Twitter chat. It's another great community to learn about, building social trust online. Also awesome for marketers.
Right.
Here on LinkedIn, we're getting close to 2,000.
Yeah.
And we started with just over 1,000. Same thing with Instagram. We had the account, but it wasn't active. We had no posts, and we're closing in on 1,000. It's been really cool.
That is, well, again, kudos to you. Go ahead, Damon.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And you think about Welker, you think of the industry, and you think Instagram. They don't really, you don't see that. But I want to tell you, the Instagram and industrial and manufacturing and B2B companies, if you're not trying it, at least getting out there, I think you're missing out, because it's a place you can get a lot of good interactions.
Yeah, and especially, watching videos of machining, it's just those oddly satisfying videos. It's like the perfect place where you can get in there. And yeah, it's so neat. That's something I never ever thought about before working here. And, I still really don't know a whole lot about how those machines work, but it's really cool just, thinking about who is making your products and how are they doing.
Getting made. Yeah.
Man, I absolutely love this. So, all right, let's go here. If I'm not mistaken, so, the Welker story is really fascinating. So if I'm not mistaken, Robert Welker was the founder, and he founded the company in his garage, man. That is just so inspiring. I think they're on their third generation.
Yes.
Do I have this correct?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
And so is Brian leading the ship now?
Yeah, Brian is Bob Welker's son. He is our CEO, and Josh Welker, he's Bob's grandson. He is our company president, and there are also other Welker siblings who are part of the team. We have a sister company on our same property, and that's headed up by Brian's wife.
Right.
And it's led by one of Josh's siblings, by Ellis Welker. So yeah, very industrious family. They've got a crazy amount of patents between all of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And what an absolute great story. And again, being new, just through our friendship and just kind of checking it out. And I was just captivated with a lot of the information. And so again, if I were your ideal buyer, I'm that persona, Damon, we call them those soulmates.
Yep.
What Welker, what Whitney and the team, what the Welker family, what they're doing an amazing job. We love using that line, let's stop being the best kept secret. They're attacking social. And who are you speaking to? You're speaking to that engineer or maybe somebody in procurement, but now you're helping them, you're helping educate, which is you are the educator, and you're doing an amazing job of helping your soulmate make that buying decision. And I know you just put if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a post that you just put out about the no like trust. Did I just see that from you recently?
Oh yeah, that's on my LinkedIn. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's, so I feel like you guys aren't talking the talk. You are walking the walk, doing an amazing job, really setting the bar high. I think I saw a question from Katie here somewhere. And there's so many. Oh, here it is right here. So let's hit this question real quick. Whitney, what is your favorite color and what is your favorite tattoo?
My favorite color is pink. Hence my ensemble for today.
Hey, what a coincidence. Same with me.
My favorite tech tool. That's a good question. Probably Canva.
Canva
right now. I do have to say, the visual imagery of our social media posts really took off About a year and a half ago, we had an amazing graphic designer, Maya Hyatt. She deserves so much credit for her skills and her beautiful work. She's moved on to another opportunity, but she did so many great things for us. We're able to keep that going. And, we really wouldn't be where we are without her either.
Right. Okay. So, all right, let's do this. I want to come back to the Twitter group. And so for anybody out there, I know we have a bunch of folks that are just, part of that community. And today we want to talk about branding. We're talking about building online community. And anybody out there, if you want to drop the hashtag. So Whitney, if somebody's like, hey, did I hear you say Twitter, our USA? Like what is, so anybody that's new to this that really needs to know about how amazing and incredible this Twitter group is on Thursdays at 2:00 Eastern time, 1:00 Central. Could you please share with everybody what is this Twitter chat group? And anybody from the Twitter chat group, drop the hashtag in the chat box, please. I would love you and thank you more than I already do. Whitney, talk about this Twitter chat group.
Yeah, so it's the USA Manufacturing Hour. We're on Twitter every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. And the group is organized by Dan Bigger, Julie Basello, Ruby Rosine, and Kirsten. And they just facilitate everything. We've got a huge group, and really doesn't matter what your role is within manufacturing. You have a topic idea, you come in and lead a chat, they hold your hand, walk you through everything, and you show up to the chat each week, you get a question every 5 minutes or so, you get to respond. There's a lot of the same kind of community going on, like we have in the chat right here. They're on Twitter, so you're getting to meet up with some friends and then also learn and, share from your perspective too. We've got people from so many different areas of manufacturing, we are, primarily in oil and gas, but then we've got people from like packaging, and then you've got, virtual assistants, really any way that you are connected to manufacturing, and then just bringing in the perspective of your niche, right? And so you just learn a crazy amount. And
I think you hit on one of the key things about it, Whitney, is you have such a wide range of people doing so many different things in manufacturing that a question will be posed and the answers that you see come from all the different backgrounds and different experiences, and then globally too. So you get such a good amount of interaction and perspective around a topic. That's the thing I think that is really understated, or we need to emphasize, is that chat group gets such good perspective around these topics. Because I think the people and me, I've been on it a couple times, right? Every time I do it, I host it, I go, wow, there's so many good perspectives in that thing. It is well worth your time to spend to get in and listen to that and get involved in it.
Just an hour a week, and you can learn so much and make really amazing connections. That's how I've met, a lot of people who are here today, got connected with people like John Buclino, Nicole Donnelly, Polly Rose, and, they've made a huge impact, just for me personally, and then also for our company.
Isn't it absolutely insane of the relationships that you can build out of Twitter? Like 140 characters, and you build these relationships. And of course, Katie, here's the hashtag right there. So again, if you are a manufacturer, if you want to hang out with the really cool kids, right, Katie, on every Thursday, 2:00 Eastern, 1:00 Central. So Katie does a great job. And I think a lot of these folks have been guests on ours. So, go to either Damon's website, my website. You can catch Katie, Julie, Dan, John. All these folks have been guests of ours. Again, big shout out to Ruby, big shout out to Kirsten, everybody from the Thursday group. But Whitney, I want to come back, and again, I apologize if I'm not keeping up with everything. Matt has a question here. Can you track how much you increase sales that you've brought in since starting social media?
Yeah, that's a really great question. We have not done the best with attribution. That's something that we are working on. We added it to the RFQ form on our website this year, and have looked into getting a CRM to a bigger CRM tool to kind of track that and be able to attribute it better.
And I love that. And then Diane, thank you. She does a shout out to the MEP. So again, guys, if you catch us, Damon and I love interviewing the MEPs. That's the Manufacturing Extension Partnerships. They are absolutely amazing. There is an MEP near you. There is one in all 50 states. They are an incredible resource. They have grant funding to help manufacturers. They have all sorts of programs, webinars. Remember, I've got a webinar coming up next week at INMEC, the Illinois MEP. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But all right, Whitney, let's go here. Okay, so we've talked about social media. We talked about our Twitter group on Thursdays. We're gonna wind down things because I know you're super busy. We got to get the Welkers just cranking. LinkedIn. What has LinkedIn? Where did you start? How many connections did you have? Say when COVID started.
Yeah.
And what does your LinkedIn life look like today?
I probably had maybe like 250 connections. Wasn't personally on LinkedIn a whole lot other than just sort of scrolling and looking at things related to oil and gas, trying to get some ideas, not really engaging a whole lot. And that for sure changed after getting connected with the USA Manufacturing Hour group, and especially with Polly Rose, and also Inger, and really just rethinking, I work at Welker, but I can also be, kind of a brand ambassador. And so the way I show up here is important. Polly worked with Steve Sams. He's our director of business for odorization, and, helped him understand that as well, like what a valuable tool it is for thought leadership and just being out there and making connections and realizing, it's a long-term thing, right? You're not just going to sign on to LinkedIn and, land a big whale, right? But you're going to be there building relationships, that KLT factor, so people know if they've got a question, they can come and talk to you. And, you're not necessarily going to see those results right away, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't important.
Right. Yeah. Man. All right. KLT. Let's do a recap. Know, like, trust. John Baglino. That mic drop like I lost track a long time ago.
On those relationships, as John says.
Know, like, trust. Hunting relationships. And Whitney, what's phenomenal is like you have a long buying process. Long buying cycle. Right. And so what's fascinating is you never know is that connection, that tweet, that blog post, that video, something that they saw today in the B2B world that might not come back. Hey, we've got Lori here from the MEP network. So Lori, hey, happy Monday to you, my friend. We have Bob, your director. He's been a guest on our program. And I was with Molly and Michael last 2 weeks ago at the MEP conference. So she does a great job right in the backyard of Penn State there. Whitney, how about that? So Lori, thank you for joining us today. But as you're, with these relationships, it's you're planting seeds, right? And so if we were in retail, like I'm trying to sell this pen, well, like we need quick hits. I need to sell a heck of a lot of these pens to make a living. What you're doing is you're planting those seeds. You're a farmer. You're nurturing these relationships, putting yourself out there so people see you on that know, like, trust as that expert, as the educator. I tell you, my hat's off to you. You are just what a breath of fresh air you are. Okay, let's start winding down. And guys, again, please connect with Whitney here on LinkedIn. She is Katie and Val, everybody on here is just showering. Polly, Rose, everybody's just showering Whitney with love. And Damon, we had like a record today. How many comments we have here? I couldn't even keep up with them, right? So, all right, Whitney, this is what I want to wind down with.
Okay.
Our dear friend Joel, this wonderful, lovely other half of yours, God bless him. If you guys caught us late, Whitney's husband, they just celebrated their 7th anniversary, and Joel proudly served in our Army. Thank you. You have Henry, your young man in your life, a preschooler, I believe.
Yes.
And you are doing an amazing job of bringing your educating superpowers to manufacturing. You are an inspirational woman in manufacturing. We love what you're doing. My question to you is, moving forward, we just started the 4th quarter. You believe that, David?
Yeah.
New Year's yesterday, wasn't it? That was New Year's yesterday, and now all of a sudden it's October or whatever. So who or what is your inspiration today? We talked about your hero, Annie Oakley, and being your heroes growing up. Who is your inspiration today?
That's a really good question. I think I would say my son, my husband too, just my family. Yeah, they've been a huge source of personal growth for me. And when you're a parent, you just want to be the best parent you can be, right?
Yep.
Man,
Drop that.
drop mic number like 18 right
Yep.
there. So all right, guys. So let's wind down. I know everybody's super busy on this wonderful, beautiful. Man, look at my window. It's like a gorgeous Monday here today.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, let's wind down. Let's just recap. Whitney Koch here. Whitney, let's give a please. If you guys want to stretch your legs, let's give a standing ovation for Whitney just being an absolute amazing, wonderful
Okay.
rock star. Whitney,
Yeah.
you are one of those people. You just make everybody around you better. And I'm not just saying that. Look at the chat box, guys. Go
Yep.
back if you missed any of this. Please listen to this replay. Catch what Whitney's got going on. Go to Welker. It is so inspiring. This company was founded in somebody's garage.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now here you are in the 21st century, just really stepping up your game. Appreciate it. Whitney, any last words that you want to share with the crowd today?
Just community. Find yourself a community in whatever industry you're in. Or it doesn't even have to be your industry, right? It could just be a hobby. Find yourself a community, someplace where you can connect with people and feel inspired and motivated to grow and do better and be better.
Okay, no words.
That's all I got.
No words,
None,
David.
none.
No words. There's no words
None.
there. All right, guys. So what we'll do is we're going to wind down. Whitney,
Awesome.
thank you. God bless
Thank you so much for having me.
How you do volunteering at your church. I'll tell you, man,
Oh,
I don't
man.
know.
Awesome.
Man, how did they make you so good? We got to talk to your mom and
Yeah.
dad. So big shout out to your mom and dad for making
Yeah.
such a wonderful young woman here. So guys,
Incredible.
take this program and just, be someone's inspiration. Go out
Yep.
and just, boy, if all of us dedicated ourselves to being somebody's inspiration, boy, somebody out there could really use it, need it, be an inspiration to someone just like Whitney is to all of us.
Yeah.
Wishing everybody here a great manufacturing
Yeah.
month. We wish you guys a great week. Damon, you've got Faces of Business coming up on Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock
Yeah.
Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. We are going to have a fun time here at
Friday.
Manufacturing Day.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? What do we got
Got
going on?
manufacturing day. We got manufacturing day. We're gonna tell what's
What do we got
manufacturing mean
going?
to us. What's manufacturing mean to us? It's time for people to come up and share what manufacturing means to them
That's
and
right.
the U.S. And we're gonna have a good time with this.
That's right, guys.
Great
So,
topic.
hey, love to connect with you, connect with myself, connect with my dear friend Damon Pastuca.
Yeah.
He's at Exeter Way, and connect with Whitney. So, guys, Whitney, hang out with us 1 second. We're going to
Yeah,
close
sure.
it down. You guys go out, have an amazing, incredible week.
Let's
God
do
bless
this.
everybody. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.